Formula for quality and quantity. These are the two things you must have in order to generate good content to go out. Quantity is obviously like how much you put out. If I'm doing a podcast for this audience, this is how many podcasts I should put out. It really depends on your capacity as well. We need to make sure that you're not committing to 3 podcasts a week, but you only have time for 1 because then you're going to quit early on and say it doesn't work. And then that's no bueno. We don't want that to happen. But when it comes to quantity, we definitely need to make sure that we're putting out. I always say, like, we need to have enough at-bats. So if you think of baseball, like, the more times that you are at the plate to be able to swing, the higher percentage you have of being able to hit the ball, right? So Wayne Gretzky is famous for his quote, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? So you have to actually be able to step up and take the shots that you are going to take. However, that doesn't mean that you need to be posting 10 times a day. It really depends on your capacity and what your demographic actually wants. If you have a more professional demographic, then you probably shouldn't be posting way too often because it's never going to get in the line of sight of those people. But if you have an audience that is spending 6 hours a day on social media, you better be posting as much as you possibly can. Or if you have a podcast and your audience is not listening to podcasts, like, we need to make sure we're thinking about how that works in terms of quantity. When it comes to quality, these are the things that I look at in terms of quality. Quality means so many different things from top to bottom in your content, but it's not complicated. Number one is the quality of the content itself. We need to make sure that we are thoughtfully thinking about what we're actually putting out on camera and not fluffing it up the whole time, not selling and pitching the whole time, and we're actually delivering good, solid information and education from what comes out of our mouth. Additionally, too, make sure you are an expert in what you're talking about. You don't know, like, early on in my career, I saw so many people putting out content, and it was just regurgitated content from where they learned it somewhere else, and they weren't an actual expert on that topic. That's very easy to see through. So just don't do that. It's very important to make sure that our content is solid in terms of the information inside of it. Then the visuals. We'll pair up visuals and audio. When it comes to the content nowadays, so let's wind the clocks back about 5 years. COVID, right? Nobody can go into studios. Nobody can have their videographer come in and shoot video content with them and that sort of thing unless they're wearing a mask or they live in Florida. So what do people do? They reverted to Zoom because Riverside did not exist at the time, and phones were not they were good video quality content, but not as good as what they are today. So everybody went to Zoom. Everybody started using the webcams. Everybody started putting out videos on YouTube shot with their webcams, and it was kind of half-assed. Didn't really look great. It was like they weren't focused on the quality of the imagery. They didn't have good lighting in their studio. They didn't have good light. They would sit out in the back porch and dogs are barking in the background and that sort of thing. It just was not good. And because of that, that really threw people for a loop, and people made a decision of, like, I want good visuals. That doesn't mean that we got to invest in a $10,000, camera, and we have to walk into a recording studio every time we want to record something. It just means think about the simple things. Like, for example, if you're watching on Instagram, you can't really see it, but if you're watching here, like, my background here is clean. It's me. It's relevant to me, and it's, like, decent setup. The quality of the camera, like, I have a basic DSLR Canon camera, and it's got a plug-in that goes right into my laptop, and I can feed that from my laptop to my camera as the webcam, where I'm not using my crappy webcam on my MacBook that's, 6 years old. So I have a very simple setup. Like, it's literally just my tripod camera, and then that camera is plugged into my laptop, and that's it. And then I have a $15 ring light here. I've got a very basic Blue Yeti microphone that was $100 that I bought like 6 years ago. So while my setup is basic, it still looks very, very good. Like, and I have my window open right here. I have a lighting, even though it's raining, I still have, like, decent lighting coming in. So there's very simple things that you could do to maintain quality. But what I am telling you today is to make sure that you invest in that a little bit at your own capacity. This is where you can, like, have somebody like me come in and help you with setting all that stuff up. However, I do think it's important to make sure you focus in on it. A neat little ninja trick that I will tell you, this is totally side topic, but if you have a Mac device, so a MacBook, MacBook Air, Mac Mini, and you have an iPhone, you actually have the capabilities to be able to tap into your iPhone from your MacBook for your iPhone to be your webcam. and it's very easy to do. For your videos on Zoom, you can do it on Riverside or whatever, and it looks amazing. So just simple things that you could do like that. Like you can even buy, $15 or $20, $30 lapel mics that plug into your microphone port for your iPhone. And then now when you're recording iPhone videos, you have good audio. So just simple stuff like that. And honestly, like when it comes to audio, you don't need to have these crazy, XLR cabled microphones. Like you could just have a simple USB one and it sounds good. Like keep it simple and you level up as you go along. Make sure that you do that. Quality of writing, quality of distribution. Make sure that whoever is writing your content or quality checking your content, distribution, like posting it, make sure they're doing it correctly and, getting it done right. So those are the things that we look at with quality.